Today is Friday, December 6th. And you can hear some kids who have already spent 18 points for the week trying to make it an even 20 if you listen carefully. Just the sound of their points disappear. Hey, advanced class, not regular class, full of so many issues on a Friday. The tie game was Penguins. No one got it. Magic wins up there. Keyboards you're going to need for Monday because we're going to be doing the typing thing. And our bell work, you're going to see behind me, hit pause, boop, and then you're going to want to write down all the stuff that's up there and then figure it out. Once again, hopefully you can figure it out fairly well because apparently this was easy according to my first period, but we're getting ready to find out to see how well this class knows it. So, let's see how smart y'all are. No shame if you get it wrong. We're just going to find out. We're going to do it together. My friend is going to the monkey movie or the camel one. My?
Adjective.
See, you're on fire already. Friend.
Noun.
Wait, how strong do you guys feel about this first sentence?
Noun.
Well, wasn't trying to get you to yell. I was just asking in general.
Good.
Do you guys feel good about first sentence?
Yes.
How's this first sentence? Is? So right after telling me how strong you felt, I get to the next word and you're like, verb.
It's a verb.
It is. You just kind of scared me there. Going?
Verb.
So far things are going well. To?
Preposition.
The, we skip. Monkey?
Adjective.
Is it adjective?
Yes.
Just making sure. Movie?
Noun.
Or?
Conjunction.
Camel?
Adjective. Adjective.
One?
Noun.
So my goal was putting that monkey and camel that you would normally think was an adjective, or sorry, normally think of as a noun, I tried to put as an adjective to throw you off. If I did, well then I was successful. If not, go you not being tricked by me. Then, what is our subject of the sentence?
Red.
Good job. That is what's doing the action. And then, is boring or action?
Boring.
Going?
Action.
All right. This next one is where third period made a mistake. I won't tell you where the mistake was until the end. My family will go to the theater and have fun. My.
Adjective.
By the way, I will tell you, on the next one we do, I plan on using the same word multiple times in different ways, like I did on the quiz, like bully was a noun once and an adjective or verb once. So this time you can look at there and be like, well, obviously we have my, and then my is the same thing. So the next one I give you is going to be the same word, but a different thing. Let's see how well it works for you. Family?
Noun.
All right. Will?
Verb.
Go?
Verb.
To?
Preposition.
Theater?
Noun.
And?
Conjunction.
Have?
Verb.
Fun.
Noun.
All right.
Easy peasy.
What is our?
Easy.
We're not done. We're not done yet.
Oh.
What is our subject?
Family.
All right. Will?
Boring.
Go?
Action.
Have?
Boring.
Hang on, double check. We're going with boring, correct?
Yes.
They all went with action. That was one that messed them up.
Okay, you just have to flip back to the old page and just look there.
Well, yeah, but that requires work.
No
And
one
so,
likes work.
so yeah, have is a boring one. It should also be in your notes at the back. But once again, that's exhausting doing
Yeah,
work.
okay, flip back.
No one likes flipping.
On the first one, the green lines are connected, and on the second one, they are.
But it's because they got smushed together.
Ah.
I know if it bothers you. After the show, we will eat some pickles. After
I wrote down these.
show,
Noun.
we
Pronoun.
will
Verb.
eat
Verb.
some
Adjective.
pickles.
Noun.
Subject,
We.
it's kind of hoping you're going to go with show, but this is where you're getting smarter. In the past, that was a mistake many of you have made. Will
Boring.
The real person.
and each, you are getting better. So, those of you who tore through it realize a month ago, the exact same sentences, you guys melted into a puddle freaking out.
Wait, we did the exact same.
You can go back and look at some of our previous ones.
It's not the same.
They're not the same sentence,
You lied to
but
us
there
today.
is the same type of sentence. I said
No.
sentences like the. Go back and listen to the video. Sentence, yeah. And so, yes, these exact sentences, word for word, I've given to you more than. Anyway, some of you just have issues in general, but you are getting slightly better where you're not freaking out. So I can start to, in theory, give you slightly more challenging things.
Please.
Slightly better than third period.
No, better. That's slightly
Yeah,
better.
I will say as good as first period. Anyway, book report. Oh, if you're done with notebook, you can put that away. You need nothing else out. All you need now is bookie books. We can talk from there. Once again, book report. Read directions. Checkpoint. Monday, we're not reading together. Tuesday, I don't know if we're reading together or not. It depends on whether we're going to do the quiz Tuesday. It might be those of you who want to do the Socrative. We'll be taking a Socrative Wednesday, and then those of you who do paper quiz will be on Tuesday. I'm still trying to figure out how to balance. We'll sort of talk about that on Monday. And then, bookie thing here. Hopkins? Yeah, it's right there on your desk. And then to there, where we left off with you guys yesterday, they were in the church, and then they were talking. We found out who JC was, and then we got to the... and then, they talked about... Johnny brought back a gift for Ponyboy that they could read together.
Gone with the Wild.
And that was The Gone with the Wind, which is a book from like the 1920s, from a long time ago there. And then they find out that they're going to try and disguise themselves. What do they do to disguise themselves? Now, only one of them bleaches their hair. What do they use? And so with that one, they both cut their hair because they have long, shaggy, greaser hair. And so it goes shorter. Why does Johnny not dye or bleach his hair? And so we find out that's where at some point in the book he talks about the fact that he either has like Native American background or it might be Hispanic background. But he talks about the fact that his skin is darker toned. So he says, Ponyboy, you're a lily white boy. You can go all blonde and it's not going to look weird. He's like, I have darker skin. If I go with light hair, I'm definitely going to stand out. And all you have to do is the hydrogen peroxide, you leave it in your hair and it can pull out some of the color. It's not like an instantaneous, you drop it on, there's like, poof, and then it changes. It's more like if you're a person that goes to the pool in the summertime and your hair gets lighter when you go to the pool, this does the same thing. It just lightens your hair a little bit. And so I found a picture of a dude who went from the same thing, so it just sort of lightens the hair. His was not hydrogen peroxide, his was probably actual bleachy things. By the way, a quick side note. You should know hydrogen peroxide from when you were a kid and you like scrape your knee and mom would pour stuff onto it and like it. Turns out that doesn't actually work. It's an old wives' tale. I found that out the hard way with my own children when they were wee chillins and they got hurt and I was pouring it on there and they were screaming. I said, suck it up. It's good for you. And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. Watch. The internet will prove it. So we went and Googled it. And then Google says, that is a wives' tale. It does nothing. And I was like, oh. Yeah, so if your parents ever did that to you, I apologize. It's a thing that they thought they did forever because it bubbles and it hurts. So we assumed it does a thing. But apparently soap and water, which does not hurt, does even more. It's just we assumed it bubbles, so it must do a thing. So now, next time your parents come at you with a bottle of that, just slap it out of their hands and go, no, you hater.
Can you drink it?
It is. No, it'll make you. I mean, you can drink anything. It'll make you throw up.
It's for mouth injuries.
And then we get to the sunrise poem, which plays a big role in the book we're going to get to here in a moment too. Is when Ponyboy goes and looks out the back windowy thing. And then when he looks out the back window at the morning time, it comes up and he does this little poem. I'm going to read that scene to you real quick and we have to figure out the poem because it plays a big role later on. So I'm going to read you. I'm going to start on page 76 and then go into it from there. Where it says, One morning, I woke up earlier than usual. Johnny and I slept huddled together for warmth. Dally had been right when he said it would get cold where we were going. Being careful not to wake Johnny up, I went to sit on the steps and smoke a cigarette. The dawn was coming then. All the lower valley was covered with mist, and sometimes little pieces of it broke off and floated away in small clouds, and the sky was lighter in the east, and the horizon was thin golden line. The clouds changed from gray to pink, and the mist was touched with gold. There was a silent moment when everything held its breath, and then the sun rose. It was beautiful. Golly, Johnny's voice beside me made me jump. That sure was pretty. Yeah, I sighed, wishing I had some paint to do a picture with while the sight was still fresh in my mind. I mean, the mist was what was pretty. It was all gold and silver. Oh, I said, trying to blow a smoke ring. Too bad it couldn't stay like that all the time. Well, nothing gold can stay. I was remembering a poem I'd read once. What? Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaf's a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. Johnny was staring at me. Where'd you learn that? That's what I meant. And there's gold. And he goes on to tell about the poem and stuff like that. With this poem, it is both a very uplifting poem and a very depressing poem at the same time. It says, nature's first green is gold, her heart is hue to hold, her early leaves a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief, so dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. That first part, nature's first green is gold, her heart is hue to hold, the idea that beginning of the day you have greenery, or the beginning of spring we have greenery, but eventually it dies. Her early leaves a flower, but only so an hour. Springtime, leaves grow up, they look beautiful, they die. Then leaf subsides to leaf, you have fall, everything falls, and it dies. So Eden sank to grief. What is the Eden it refers to? The Garden of Eden. That Adam dude, that Eve chick, that snake thing. And the idea that it was a place of perfection, and then they die. And so the idea, so dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. Have you picked up on what the theme of the poem is?
Dead.
You're on the right track. The idea that everything you love is going to
Die.
There you go. Mr. Brodiak, that's just depressing. Where's the inspiring bit? What the poem's trying to tell you is everything you love is going to die. So while you have it, cherish it. Don't take it for granted. While you're a kid, enjoy being a kid. Because eventually you get old and bitter and you hate everything. If you have friends, enjoy them. If you have a class you like, enjoy it. Eventually you're going to lose all those things you have. So while you have a thing you like, enjoy it. Because eventually it's going to die. Yeah. And so if you... by the way, that last line, nothing gold can stay, becomes a bit of a metaphor. Because if you've seen any memes connected to outsiders, they almost always say something along the lines of, stay gold pony boy. What would that line mean if it's saying to stay gold pony boy?
He's gonna die. Stay alive.
Close, but not quite. Because the gold here does not mean death. We're wanting you to stay gold, not lose the gold.
Stay young.
Stay young. Stay happy. Stay... whatever your gold is, whatever that thing is that makes you happy, that's the thing that's going to die. So the idea of staying gold means stay happy. Cherish what you have. Don't give up and become old and bitter. When you're a kid, don't try to become not gold. Hold on to that gold for as long as you can. And that'll come back later in the poem. Later on in the story, they're going to keep talking about staying gold. The idea that stay happy, stay young. Hold on to what makes you a happy person. And then, what do we get to? Not that one. Not that one. There. Did we get to this part yet? Page 85? That's not where we've read yet, right? Aha! Page 85 of chapter 6. Because that's when we find out... because who shows up to come visit them?
Dally.
And Dally shows up. I think he's in the... That's when he shows up in Dally's T-Bird. And then, where does he take them?
Dairy Queen.
Everyone wants to go to Dairy Queen. It's the best. Oh, and he brings them a note. Who's the note from?
Soda.
We find out that what does Ponyboy find out in note?
He's in the newspaper.
He was in the newspaper.
They're having a fight.
That's not in that. That's coming up here. Dally tells him that in just a moment. We find out that Derry does love him. Like Derry does love him, and the fact that his family misses him and things like that. And then did we get to the spy? We find out who the spy is going to be.
Cherry.
And we find out who the spy is going to be. Then we get to chapter 6, which is page 85, which I was going to read to you, but we just ran out of time. So that's the part where we'll have to have you read. Here's, by the way, where our action starts to ramp up. If you thought we had action before,
Oh, no.
this is where we get action. See you Monday. Bring your keyboard, do your homework, book report, something.